perfect. There. And it is 9:03, so let's go, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, so before I do this, because I'm 54, I have trifocals. And like right now when I have my head normal, everything's a blur. So if I have to read something, I have to like get to the trifocals. So this video is going to look like my chin is talking because it's the only one I can see. So, yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about, and hopefully get ideas from you guys too, about how you organize your lists, because the follow-up and the circling back is so critical, at least for me. It's taking my people 6 months to a year to 18 months to 2 years to say yes. So if I don't force myself to circle back, I'm obviously not going to get them, because they're not going to come to you and say, oh yeah, I remember 6 months ago when you messaged me, but now I'm ready. You know, that doesn't happen either. So I think in order to grow your business, you have to have a good way of listing people so you can circle back. Because, I mean, people are slow decision makers and really, really have to think through and wait until it's right and they're not sure. And I think it's very few people that are like I was, or I was like, you know, I called Sally the day I saw her before and after pictures and said, I just took my before pictures and I don't know what you're doing, but I'm signing up. That person isn't very, unfortunately, that person doesn't really exist. So we need to organize. And I used to do it just on a notebook. And I still do that. I have a pad of paper in my car because I'm constantly, anytime a name pops in my head, write it down. And I'm assuming that we all do that. But then as soon as I can, I have to get it on my phone, and I use Google Docs so that I can transfer it phone to computer. And I use Google Sheets. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you what it looks like. This is, oh my gosh, I keep tilting my head up. This is what I use, kind of. And I did recently add a column to-do list because I kept also thinking of, you know, oh yeah, I told someone I'd send her a link for a 3-day refresh, or I told someone I would do something, or I remember I need to make this graphic or whatever. So I did make a column for a to-do list, and this has been huge for me. Again, instead of having little notes everywhere, I have, I just stick it in there along with anything else. So I check this multiple times a day, even if I'm not sending invites or whatever. So that has really helped me too. And I can share this with you too if you want this. But I have a list for potentials, and those are just names of people that I think of. And think outside the box as far as thinking about people in your life, like your, as a teacher, I'm thinking about former students that are now in their, you know, 20s, 30s, but also my students' parents, my more current students' parents, like my 13, 14-year-old students from last year. Their parents are the good age. So you just have to be bold and just ask people. So put every human being that pops into your head, put them on your potentials list. And then invite to coaching as a separate list. And I've gotten in the habit of writing down new customers just so I don't forget them, because my numbers are growing a little bit and I want to make sure I don't let any new people slip through the cracks. So I make sure that I'm holding their hand and making sure that they know what they're doing. Same thing with new coaches. And you know, this is so easy to use. It's just like using Excel. So this is something that really helps me. And I'm going to stop the share. I can share that document if you want to. And before I ask for you guys to share how you guys do it, I want to talk about a conversation that I had with Lindsay, and she's on here. We were talking about, she's most comfortable inviting people that she doesn't know, and inviting people she does know is tough for her. And can I tell this, Lindsay, about the laminated list? This is going to stay with me forever. Do you want to tell it? She's at a conference in...
Yeah, I can tell it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so when I first started coaching, I made a list of like people who really scare me and people who are like my unicorns who I would just die if I ever got the opportunity to ask them, which it's all in my head. But I made this list and I actually laminated it because one day I'm going to ask all of these people to join my challenge group or to be a coach. I'm just going to do it. But recently, one of the people on my list reached out to me and I about died. Like, I told Melanie, I was like, oh my gosh, one of my unicorns reached out to me and asked me about the program. So it's all in my head. I just have to get out of my head. And I think I need to conquer the unicorns to get over myself. That's what I got.
Yeah. So the conversation that we had is that what she needs to realize, and all of us need to realize, is that we are on someone's laminated list. Someone else thinks that we're doing something that's also above them or hard to approach or scary, or I could never do that because she's in great shape or whatever it is, and try to break down that barrier with the people that might be intimidated by what we're doing also. So that word laminated list, I thought about it every day, Lindsay. I think it represents a real thing that we both have to break through and get over those scary people. We all have. Why is that? We have these people that we think are way too cool for us. It's just not true. We're all in the same boat. But also flip the coin and make sure that we don't seem unapproachable because we're on someone else's laminated list too. So, and Lindsay also is at a conference and she's been brave to reach out to real human beings face to face this week, which is hard. So that's good. I'm proud of you, Liz. So does anybody else want to share how you organize your lists?
Okay, I'll share. So I took a huge, bold move for the first time in 3 years, and I canceled my TeamZ account. I have been paying $30 a month for TeamZ, and I felt like I need to move to something different. It was just getting hard for me to input everything, and I felt like it was becoming more time consuming than it was giving me results. So I canceled it in September, and for the last 2 months, and I'm not kidding you, this is what my lists, I don't know if you guys can see, this is what I've been doing, is good old-fashioned pen and paper. And I have been making notes and notating things, and I even have like a huge affirmation that I'm going to learn Google Streak this month. That's like one of my goals. It might happen over Christmas break just because it's hard to like have a lot of long-term focus. But I really actually like what I saw with your Google Sheets. So maybe instead of Streak, I'll do Sheets. I think the most important thing is to not let a system stop you from just putting down names. So whatever works for you. But Melanie is right in saying that it takes a long time for people to come around. And I cannot remember who I just listened to. Oh, it was on my regional mastermind call. We just heard from a girl that went from, she's been coaching 2 years, and she just went from, at Summit, she was just a diamond, and she just hit 7-star. And we were all like, what are you doing? And she said she was asking, so every time somebody signs up, what she does is she has them fill out a Google form. And she has a Google form, which is a really good idea. No matter what, they fill it out, and then she can keep track of those Google forms. But one of the questions that she asks people on the Google form is, how long have you known me or been connected with me or followed me or whatever? And she said the average answer is 1 year. which is just crazy to me because it solidifies what Mel just said, in that people are watching you, and they are watching you for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And so you have to find a way to get back to those people who you may have contacted a year ago, especially with Instagram, where you're not necessarily building relationships with people. If you lose a name, it falls through the cracks. So while I'm revamping my system, and I think TeamZ works if you're willing to use it, and I know a lot of people have success with it, but there are free programs out there like Google Sheets and Google Streak, which can work in the same way. Or if you're overwhelmed, this works also. Mm-hmm. But my two things that I'm doing are a new tracking system, and then I'm going to have a form for every single person to fill out, like a Google Sheet. It's actually like a Google form. And that way I can have all of their information in one place, and you get to save it forever. So that's my 2 tips. Oh, and one other thing I was going to say too, regarding what Lindsay was talking about. And I know I've said this before to some of you, but like, I'm guilty of this too, of like making an assumption about somebody, whether it's a coaching assumption or a challenger assumption. Sometimes I think, they don't seem like the kind of person that would want to do this, so I'm just not going to ask them. But we can't make a decision for somebody. Like, it's everybody. You're asking everybody. Now, you don't have to ask everybody to be a coach, because I feel like I only want people on my team that I really like and think would be a good coach. I'm not just going to go out there and ask the world. But you can bet I want everyone to be a challenger and give them a shot in my challenge group. So I don't think that you can ever decide for somebody else. Let them decide for themselves, because so many times in this business, I have been shocked when someone says yes to me. I'm like, wait, what? I totally didn't think you would want to do this. And same thing with coaching too. I've used the story of one of my current, she's a discount coach right now, but she has her PhD in pharmacy, and she's sorry, I lost my picture for a second. She's a pharmacist, and she approached me about coaching and potentially wanting to work the business. And I would have never asked her, because I'm like, you have your PhD. Why would you ever want to be a Beachbody coach? But you never know what somebody needs in their life. So don't make that decision for anyone else. Let them make it for themselves.
Yeah, and the laminated list comment from Lindsay, the woman that approached her said to Lindsay, I've been watching you. You look so great. You have so much energy. They were just on a trip with their junior high kids for the weekend a few weeks ago. You had so much energy on the trip. And so, I'm sure Lindsay didn't realize that her laminated list person was admiring her and watching her and in awe of her. She would never have thought that. So that's a really great point. You just never know. And even like parents and grandparents, I wish that I had asked my dad a few years ago, and I was way too scared to. And I think it could have made a difference in his life. So you just can't be, I think we have to have confidence in this product, especially Shakeology, because I just feel like the ingredients in it are magic, and it's not being salesy. It's just not. It's making people healthy. We're not trying to sell like long eyelashes. We're trying to sell a better heart. Okay, I just have 2 more things to say, and these are both from Kelly from when we were in Seattle at the retreat, which was almost 2 years ago. But Kelly had us sit down and go to our friends on Facebook and go to their friends. So pick a friend that's your avatar, go to their friends. And if you have, I think Kelly, you said maybe 12 mutual friends or maybe even fewer, but if you have 10, if you have mutual friends with that friends, are you following me? Just set, when you look at their friends list, there's a button right there that says add friend. You don't even have to spend time going to their page and checking it. Just add. And then as they accept your friendship, then I would go in and figure out who they are and put them on your list. I would put them for sure on my to-do list. And sometimes I have a column. I made this one nice and clean, but the one that I actually use has all kinds of columns with all kinds of crap everywhere. But one of my columns is Love Bomb. That was in one of the wake-up calls or something. And those are just people that I just need to pay attention to for a while instead of just bombarding them with an invitation. So I would put them on my love bomb list, and then I just need to like take a quick scroll through their Facebook and like a couple things on them. But to take that a step further now with Instagram, you can do the same thing. Go to your avatar's Instagram and go to who they're following and do the same thing. And follow them. But then don't just let it fall through the cracks. Have your Google Docs open too. Maybe on your phone while you're doing the other thing on the computer so you can just quickly transfer it or put it on there. Because you've got to keep the funnel filled. If it's going to take 6 months or 12 months, you've got to invite now or your March is going to stink. And that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. I'm working really hard because I want a strong spring, because that's pretty much how it works. The stuff you're doing now, the results are later. And hopefully the customers you're getting now, you have been messaging every month or maybe every 5 or 6 weeks at the most. Even if they ignore you, just send it again. I hope you don't think I'm nagging you. That's what I say. If it's been like 5 months and they've ignored me, because I do it. I hope you don't think I'm nagging you, but I just know you would love this, and it has changed my life. What do you think? That's it. And then if they ignore me again, I wait 6 weeks and I do it again, because I don't care. It'll help them. And you know all the people that finally say yes. They're like, thank you so much. I'm so glad. She bugged me to death. So that's all I have. Oh, wait. No, I want to show you one more thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me share pages real quick. This is not mine. Where is it? But someone, I was going to look this up so that I didn't look like I didn't appreciate, but someone that I watched made these landing pages sheets for all these topics. So for example, there's something for Shakeology, for challenge groups, for every one of our items. And it's a beautiful page, well-written page, which is copied and pasted from the coach office. But they also have links for videos. So if anybody wants any of these, so if somebody says, I'm interested in beach bars, then you can just go to that landing page, she called it. And she had put it in a group. But you could either send this entire sheet informational for them or take the video that's in it. So if you guys want any of these, they're beautiful documents. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I have those saved somewhere, and I can't remember. Did we get them on the Beachbody Champions page?
I think so. It was a woman who was talking about doing she didn't call it sneak peek, Snoop groups.
Snoop group, yeah.
It was whoever did that one used these and put them in that group for people to see.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. I was thinking those would even be really good in an event page where you're advertising for an upcoming challenge group, and just to add them as units, or I don't know if you can do that in an event page, but maybe as a file in there. Yeah. And then just notify people like, hey, look through the file section. But such a great resource for people.
And even just for me, if I get a question, I can just go to the landing page and it's right there. Yep. So I can share that if anybody wants them.
Yeah.
I would love that, please. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Want me to put it in the file section?
Yeah, just put them in the file section of the team page. Okay. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually using those right now. I'm doing an online class with a girlfriend who does essential oils, and I've been using them. And one lady even reached out and she was like, those are so professional. I just love how much I'm learning just by getting to see those pages. So I was like, oh, they're working.
Yay. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good. So as far as this meeting goes, I hope that it was helpful. Maybe I'll put that Google Docs in the files, and I'll put those landing pages in the files. And I love working with you guys. This is the best gig ever.
So Melanie, what do you use for tracking? I missed it.
Google Docs.
Google Docs, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this really high tech. Don't get intimidated, ladies. And I literally like have my check marks with what it's supposed to be. And that's what I've been using. And then I, like, if I need to cross anybody out, I cross it out and then I delete it on my computer. So then when I reprint it to go back, it's not on there.
Is that a table? Yeah.
It's just this is all my Instagram followers. So I just print
Did you
them
set it up as a table?
I just added columns.
Okay.
Just on my pages thing, I just went to edit and then columns and then just added all of my followers on there. And then I deleted any other like spam followers or just any of the businesses, advertising, that kind of stuff. I deleted those. And then I just, these are the people I'm working with right now. But there's also like my business connection. Kelly, I think I've told you about that before. It's kind of like Teamsy, but it's only like $5 a month. You get the first month for free. And then I think that's what it's called. Let me just double check. I can't find it here now, of course. But I think that's right. My business connection, my connection builder. My connection builder. Shoot, I had it pulled up and now I can't find it. It's set up a lot like Teamsy, but you can actually like rearrange it a little bit to what you want. So that was nice. But I tried doing the Google Docs and I need something that's already laid out, not Google Docs. What is that? Streak,
yeah.
I need something that's already laid out instead of me trying to like put something out there. Cause at first I didn't know what I needed. So it was confusing to me, but Kelly, when you figure it out, we should do a team call.
Well, and I think, I really think that tracking is so much based on personality. And I don't think it's a one size fits all, because if you talk to top coaches, they all do things differently too. And as with anything in this business, I think evaluating, on maybe an every other month basis and saying like, am I getting results from this? Do I feel like it's making me better? And if it's not, try something else. But that's ultimately why I decided to cancel my Teamsy. And I've been preaching Teamsy for so long, but like I got to a point where I thought, this is just not working for my brain anymore. And I don't know if it's really moving my business forward. So I don't know if it's going to help for me to do something different, to reevaluate. But I don't think there's a right or wrong, as long as you're doing something. I just tell people like, as long as you're doing something other than Messenger. Messenger is the worst way to track because there is really no way. So if you're relying on scrolling back through Messenger and just hoping that you're going to discover people you had previous conversations with, that's when you'll lose people.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Was that you just posted it, Diana?
Yeah, I just posted the name of it. It's my connection builder.
My connection builder. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mel, for this awesome call. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we head off? Next week, our call would be on Thanksgiving. So we're going to go ahead and take that week off. And then the last week of November, I'm actually in charge of our push group that week. Each coach is in charge of a different week. And so that's my week. And we're supposed to hold a live power hour. So I'm going to combine and I'm going to invite everyone from that push group into our team call that night. And we'll just make it one huge power hour. So come prepared to work. It'll be one of the last days of the month. Big push for the end, really big push for filling up our groups for December, which can be a huge month. I think it's December 4th is that the right date for the T20? Do we know?
I don't know.
I'm just throwing, I'm pretty sure it's December.
What was that?
The pre-sale of
December 4th? 4th, I think so, because that's when Carl said that the steps were going on. Pretty sure that's it.
Okay, so big push for that. And you guys don't forget about Black Friday. Black Friday can be such a powerful tool in our business. Nobody knows what our regular prices are. So everything can be a Black Friday deal, right? And you can offer it however you want to offer it. So if you want to have a personal Black Friday deal on your page, do it, advertise it. Call it $20 off this month, your personal Black Friday deal. Or some people like to advertise it as like, buy a bag of Shakeology at full price. I will give you a year of Beachbody on demand. I will give you portion fixed containers, a water bottle, and allow you in my challenge groups for $10 more. So it's just changing the wording around, and it's not dishonest. That's what it is. Or this month, if you buy a bag of Shakeology or the performance line, I'm going to give you all of this for $10 as my Black Friday deal. The normal cost on all of that would be like 230, or figure out what the actual cost would be. So, just find a way to leverage, and this is a great time to, reach out to those guys that are looking for gifts for their wives. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling people, stop worrying about buying things and buy experiences, and how cool would it be to be able to buy your wife or your mom or your sister or your grandma the opportunity to be in a challenge group and change their life. So don't forget to use all of those in your marketing toolbox this week.
So my biggest, the thing I hear the most about people is like, oh, Shakeology is so expensive. Everybody, or I did it before, it's just so expensive, I can't afford that. So what I was thinking of doing is promoting the year membership, and then you're getting Shakeology for only $40.
Yep.
That's what my target is for all. I have like 7 people who have flat out told me I don't want to pay that much for a bag of shakes. I'm like, well, how about $40? So
yeah. Perfect. My only hesitation, I think that's great, and do it. I listened to Jamie Fitzgerald one time. He was a top 10 coach a couple of years ago, and he said, when you market Shakeology at a really low price, that sets up shakes them every month. And so then the second month they don't renew because they're like, whoa, last month I got it for 40 and now you want me to pay whatever. So he said he has had more success with people staying on Shakeology when he markets it at full price, and then tells people you're getting all the other extras for only $10, because in their mind then they got that month at $130, and then you sign up as a coach the next month and they feel that they're getting a really big discount.
That's a good point.
But
I like that.
But you got to do what's going to work for your market. And for some people, they just need to try the shakes, and then they're hooked, and they're like, okay, this is worth it to me. Because, and now I can get it at the coach discount. I'm paying 95 or 7 or whatever it is that we get it for, which is still an amazing deal. And now they know the value because they've had it. So like I said, there's not a right or wrong way, but you got to figure out what's going to work best for your market.
Good point.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else from you, Mel?
No. I hope it was helpful.
It was very helpful. I loved it. And I want to see that form. I made some notes, but if you wouldn't mind just putting an empty one on there, I might try it out this month while I'm kind of soul searching and see how it works.
Yep.
Will you be posting your tracking to-do list as well?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the one I needed.
Yeah. And there's different tabs at the bottom. You know how Google Sheets is. You can put like October, November, December. So you can copy and paste all your stuff month to month. It works out really well for me.
Love it. And it's free.
It's free. No kidding.
The best part. Yes. Heidi loves free. All right, you guys, have a good night. Go Seahawks.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping on, guys.
Yeah. See ya.